Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashata Deshatarini. Hare Krishna. Let us start with Pradeep Prabhu. Pradeep Prabhu जी, आप कल का वर्ष का ना थोड़ा जो आपको इंस्पिरेशन मिला या इम्पोर्टेंट पॉइंट्स आप शेयर करना चाहेंगे तो मे बी एक दो पॉइंट्स आप शेयर कर सकते हैं प्रभु जी. वर्ष नंबर 9 से हमने कल स्टार्ट किया था 15.9 से. Yes, Prabhuji. I think is referring this class notes, right?
Yes. So, Prabhuji discussed many points yesterday. So about Sanatana Dharma, and if you want to particularly discuss about 9th. The living entity is the part and parcel of the Supreme. So, Prabhuji, so we clearly understand that part means that it has individuality, separate existence, and never merges. So, parcel means that is integral and cannot be separated. So, as a part, it is Veda, it is distinguished, and as a parcel, it is Abheda. So, this is Achintya, Veda, Abheda, Tattva. So the living entity migrates from one body to another body based on our subtle body. So that mind, intelligence, and falsific. Example: the air carries aroma. So Prabhuji told we cannot see the air, but similarly, so the mind carries the soul from one body to another body. So according to our, this is also mainly our conception. So according to one's desire, that impression or conception in the mind, according to that, we will get the next body. So the living entity is adulterated with because cats and dogs. So Prabhupada, Prabhuji quoted, told about his lecture he heard from Prabhupada that the material wood, the three modes, the three colors when it mixes, so 3 into 3, 9 into 9 is 81, so it continues to create 8,004,000 pieces of life. So one who enabled to surpass the influence of these three modes of possession can return to the abode. So the main principle of transmigration is the main reason for transmigration is the mind. So based on the mental conception, we decide. So the next body will be decided. So the conception should be changed to stop the transmigration of the soul. So for that, one should strictly follow the Srila Prabhupada instructions. So one can. So if we follow. So if our conceptions are changed, actually generally we will, that day you told similarly, like we always think about materially only. So how we can elevate at the material level. So we don't think because we lack such knowledge. So that is not integrated generally. So that integration, that conception should change. So when it changes, so we can at least think about devotional service. Prabhuji told many times. I hope if we continue hearing, so that it will gradually change. Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Most of the point you have covered, Prabhuji. I would like to add one more thing. As Prabhuji said that we were not able to change our conception because that we moved on upashanti. That means that everlasting fooled by the lust and desire. Lust and desire will lose all the power to understand. We are changing, transmigrating from one body to another. Because of this thing, we are not able to identify that we are transmigrating. So even in that 10th verse, Prabhupada purport, he is mentioning that a great amount of knowledge is required. It can be acquired through only constant hearing. Yes, Prabhuji. We have to nail the point very strongly so that we can able to get understand. Yes, Manish Prabhu. Any other point which apart from Pradeep Prabhu said, maybe you can add.
I think distinctive points will be made by Dulamani Prabhuji, Ravindra Prabhuji are also there, but Pradeep Prabhuji has, I think, almost everything he has covered in a short message what he said, and I think he also elaborated. So most focus should be towards changing our conception, as both of you have rightly said, that we are not able to see the process of transmigration. We are being told also, and Prabhuji also, he tells many times, and Prabhupada also says many times, that we see so many things happening in front of our eyes. Many are dying, taking birth, but still this process, we are so much ignorant. We are not actually putting it to our heart. So this is because of the so much pollution is there, so much adulteration is there in our heart, that we are not able to, after hearing also, we are not able to see those things. So correctly you have mentioned that there is only one way. We have to depend, and Prabhuji also, he told that after hearing, we have to give a thought. So that is how actually the conception will change. Whatever has been being told in class, we have to relate it. We have to give a thought for some times that how it is actually related to our life. Then only we will be able to. Otherwise, he is speaking in the class, we are hearing, and next day it is going to be evaporated. It is not remaining in our heart. So until unless it is touching our heart, it will not purify. So that is what is required, means this Buddhananta Parasparam. Once I think we have heard also in previous chapters that it should go on. It should go on and query, and also we should put it into the practice. So I think it's a good thing that Pradeep Prabhuji is telling, that we have to more concentrate on hearing and also qualitative chanting also, because in one of the verse Prabhupada was telling that devotional service is important, and the two aspects he spoke about. So this hearing and chanting both are important. So that is how I think we can gradually change our conception, and then we'll be able to become recipient, or we can progress towards self-realization. Thank you, Prabhuji. Prabhuji has also joined. So
Continue, please, Manish Prabhu. You're discussing.
Yes, Prabhuji, I think gradually 2-3 of the devotees, they participated. Some important points from yesterday's discussion, Prabhuji, we are speaking about. So maybe Dulamani Prabhuji, you can also contribute, like what more, some practical aspects.
Yes, thank you, Manish Prabhu, for bringing out this point that after the class we should have to give some thoughts about whatever has been spoken, so that we can relate to in our life, day-to-day life. Otherwise, it will go. I mean, it will go from our mind. Also has a very nicely has life how the transmigration of soul happens, and regarding the concepts also very nicely. Another point that I could not Puruṣottamayoga where it was written that why Lord created so many living, so I was saying that as a big person, he needs the help of many persons. So he needs the help of people, big persons. Suppose, for example, our he also needs so many divisions, so many professors, and everybody's have needs. So like that only. So just I was thinking that he has created us because he wants some service from us. Actually, he wants some service from us. How can we know that he wants this service? So it through our through the representative of Lord Krishna, like Prema Prabhuji is there. So our spiritual master. So they will tell that this is the service they will allot us. So I'm thinking that way that Lord also wants that some service we should perform. So he has desire. So if you perform that service, then our life is successful. So if we fulfill that desire of Lord Krishna, then our life will be successful. So we should also think in that way, that why we were created, why we have been given this opportunity. So because some service has been expected from us, so we should work also in that particular direction. And yes, thank you, Prabhu. Okay, this was my thought.
Yeah, so thank you so much, Prabhuji. I think Prabhuji will be joining. There might be some network issues, got disconnected. But anyway, again, you have brought another point that service also is important. So simply just by hearing will not work. We have to put back in action whatever advice has been given to us. And we are happy that Prabhuji was telling, I think yesterday only, Ravindra Prabhuji and Priyanka Mataji, they went for some services. They are preaching to around more than 100 aspirants. So it is a very good sign what Dulamani Prabhuji is emphasizing, that is what is required. And I think this is also is a one good way, as Prabhuji every time he tells, whenever we try to speak, then we prepare our consciousness, and then I think we can further progress. So anyone else wants to add something, some practical points, anything from yesterday's class?
Hare Krishna, Manish Prabhu, can we start?
Yes, Prabhuji. Yes, Prabhuji.
There is some internet problem. One moment. Hare Krishna. Sorry for being late. I had to go out today because my quota for Bhagavad Gītā is far behind what I have to do. And I was reminded strongly by our Sankirtan leader, His Grace Mohan Rupa Prabhu. He told me कि आप बाहर जाएंगे तो होगा. So I said, yes, Prabhuji, you empower me, I will attempt. And by his empowerment today, more than 1500 Bhagavad Gita's commitment I got. Most of it, they have transferred the money also. But still 3,500 more to go. So I need, support and wishes from all of you. For last 10 years, the average is 10,000. So I don't want to fall below. It's a difficult task this time because the price is quite high. But still, if we make an effort and endeavor, then our authorities will be pleased. Krishna will be pleased. So today is a very beautiful festival. I don't know how many of you know. Although it has not been celebrated to the extent it should be, Today is Sri Krishna Pushya Abhishek. Aware, knowing, not knowing. Yeah, and particularly for those who have deities, they must observe this festival. This is the first festival of the calendar year. You know, we have constellations, nakshatras, and there are movements in the planets according to the nakshatra. And this mass is called the Pausha Mass. After the Magh Mass comes the Pausha Mass. And today is also Purnima. Today's Purnima? Yeah, today is the Purnima. The full moon. So very, very auspicious day for celebration in Vrindavan. The gopis, what they do, they encircle Krishna and they decorate Krishna. And how is the decoration done? Predominantly through flowers. It is not Pushpa Abhishek, it is Pushya. Pushya. And in some temples, particularly in Mayapur, where we aspire to go, this festival is celebrated on a very grand scale. Devotees start preparation almost a week before, say from the 1st of January. And they collect very beautiful flowers and arrange petals. And they also prepare, okay, let me see. Now my internet is on. I'll try to show you the festival, how it is celebrated in Mayapur. One moment. So in Mayapur in particular, the devotees, they start arranging for flowers, for petals, and also they prepare a very beautiful outfit of Radha Madhav and all the Ashakis with the flowers. You can see the screen, although the font is a little small. Can you see the Radha Madhav deities and the Ashakis? I'll try to magnify it one moment. So they are dressed in complete flower outfits. And this is the only time in Mayapur because it is not easy. These are very big sized deities. And 10 deities, not one or two, 10 big sized deities. And the devotees prepare very, very special flower outfits for Shri Radha Madhav and all the Ashakis. And the entire altar is decorated with very beautiful flowers. So this is one of the reports from Mayapur, which says that generally the first major festival of the year in Sri Dham Mayapur is Shri Krishna Pushya Abhishek. This is a festival of joy. Chance to offer some personal service to our dearest Shri Radha Madhava, and it's truly a glimpse into what it may be like in the spiritual realm. So this is what happens in Vrindavan. Vrindavan means where the center is Radha and Krishna. And everyone in Vrindavan is trying to serve and please Krishna. So it brings us close to the mood of Sri Vrindavan Dham. On this day, 100 kilos of fragrant flowers are lovingly prepared by the devotees and offered to Sri Radha Madhav and Ashakis through the most colorful abhishek of flowers. His Grace Jananivas Prabhu was instructed by Srila Prabhupada to celebrate festivals related to the pastimes of Shri Shri Radha Krishna in a grand way in Sri Dham Mayapur. In this period, Mayapur is surrounded by the festival atmosphere because God Purnima is coming soon. Together with many other celebrations, the community devotee gathers this day for the Pushya Abhishek to start the preparations for the upcoming festivals. It requires a big endeavor to make the Abhishek very successful. More than 200 devotees to participate in the preparation of the unique festival. So 200 volunteers, devotees, they prepare for almost a week. This is very unique and special opportunity for the community to come together and perform service for the pleasure of Shri Shri Radha Madhava and Ashtakis. The devotees sit around plucking out tender petals from different kind of flowers. There are around 5 types of Chandra Mallika. 5 types of Chandra Mallika. 3 types of marigold. Do patti and dahlia flowers and thousands of roses. All the flowers are coming from different parts of India. Also in Mayapur, we have a huge garden. When we will go there, we will see a very huge garden is there in the back of Panchatattva extension. And there they specially grow the flowers to offer to service and prepare gardens, both for Shri Shri Radha Madhava Shakis and also for Panchatattwas. The preparation looks as festival as the festive itself. Even in the night, some devotees remain awake to finish the services. The flower collected are not used only for the Abhishek, but also to make an outstanding dress out of multicolored flowers that will be offered to the deities just after the blissful Mangala Aarti. Each year, the flower dress has its own unique design and flower choices. So it is not the same. Every year it is unique. Sri Madhav also has a unique special flower outfit which is made out and perfectly fit and cut to perfectly fit his Tribhanga form, as well as flower jewelries and flower mukut pieces for his turbans. Srimati Radhika and the 8 gopis have their own full outfits of a flower skirt, top and veil, complete with flower jewelry from head to toe. Last year for the skirts alone, the devotees used over 5,000 flowers per skirt. This is exactly what Srila Prabhupada wanted. Pushya Abhishek means a ceremony to decorate the deities profusely with flowers, ornaments, clothes. The day of Shri Krishna Pushya Abhishek, a big gathering of devotees eagerly await the blissful darshan of Shri Shri Radha Madhav just after the Mangala Aarti to receive the merciful shower of mercy. All the collective efforts and services of the devotees in Mayapur are recorded by the eyes of the deities, full of compassion and always ready to reciprocate with their unconditioned mercy. This festival is not to be missed at all. Shri Krishna Pushya Abhishek ki jai. Also because this is the peak winter time, so another offering is made to the deities, very unique. That from pure cow ghee, the deities are massaged very well, so that they may not catch cold. So there is this, in this festival, there is the offering of the ghee. The ghee massage is done to the deities. And then they are bathed. The Abhishekam is done of the flowers. And they are presented with very beautiful deity dresses and ornaments and various other decorations and jewelry items. And then a lot of fruits and other preparations are offered. So, okay, those who have deities, Dolamani, Rabinder, in Jagannath Puri also this festival is commemorated in a big way. And in this day, I was told today, Adharma Krishna Prabhu was taking the class in the morning. He was referring that Lord Jagannath accepts the form of Lord Ram. And Mother Lakshmi becomes Sita. So this is very important festival, festival of flowers. Pushya. And Pushya also means to nourish. So nourishment of the jiva is through the performance of service. The heart is nourished when it gets the opportunity to serve the Supreme. So very beautiful festival. Okay, you have done Mangalacharan? We'll come to Bhagavad Gītā. Today we will see how Krishna nourishes the entire creation. How the nourishment of the entire creation rests upon Krishna. Bolo bhai.
Yes, Prabhuji, completed. Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay, so in the last section that we were discussing, from verse number 7 till 11, what we saw is how the living entity who does not surrender to Krishna, who is not inclined to return home back to Godhead, what he has to do? He has to transmigrate. He has to give up the present body and accept another body according to his actions, according to his karma. And there are two types of living entities, as Krishna is summarizing in the, I think it was 11th verse. Yeah, and before that, Krishna said that one who is not trained in knowledge, who has not cultivated or developed jnana chakshusha, he cannot see. Even if he sees, he cannot accept, or he cannot stop this transmigration happening. Vimudha nanu pashyanti jnana chakshusha. So one who does not have the jnana chakshu, what about them? How they can be spiritually elevated? Those who cannot see the spiritual aspects, like the 11th verse is saying, that who are situated in self-realization can see all this clearly. But what about those who are not self-realized? Api atkritatmano. So those who are not situated in self-realization cannot see the opportunity to be able to see Krishna's hand in this entire creation at every level. How Krishna is the sustainer, how Krishna is the maintainer, how Krishna is the nourisher of everyone and everything in this entire creation. How to be able to perceive that? So Krishna speaks, the verse number 12. So this is the section of how Krishna maintains at all levels everyone. Verse number 12. Yad aditya gatam tejo jagad bhasyate akhilam yad chandramasi yad chagno tat tejo vidhima. At the cosmological level, what do we see? We see the sun, Aditya. And what the sun does? The sun has the teja, the sunshine. So yad aditya gatam tejo, that splendor in the sun, or that sunshine in the sun, which illuminates the entire universe. Krishna says, yad adityam gato tejam. I am that. I am that splendor, or that illumination, or that light that comes from, or that energy that comes from the sun. And yet Chandramasi also from the moonlight which comes. So Krishna says, I am the factor behind it. Not only the sun and the moon, yat cha agno, also from fire. Tat tejo vidhi mamakam. So that teja, that force, Krishna says, it is because of me. The splendor of the sun, which dissipates the darkness of this whole world, comes from me, and the splendor of the moon and the splendor of the fire are also from me. How to understand this? Already Krishna has spoken in the 7th chapter when Krishna is speaking about his energies. Anyone remembers? What did he speak about? His energies in the 7th chapter regarding Chandra, Surya and Agni. Krishna said, Prabha Asmi Shashi Suryayo. That light or that splendor, both in the Shashi is moon and also he said that I am the heat in. So what is the substance? What is sun without the sunshine? What is moon without the sunshine? And what is fire without heat? So that potency which is there in the sun, moon and the fire, Krishna says that potency is me. It is because of me. There, one devotee explained, and this has really fitted into my consciousness. Very easy to understand. He gave an example of Prahlad Maharaj. Prahlad Maharaj's demoniac father Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyakashipu's sister, they had an evil plan. What was the plan? That they will make Prahlad enter into fire and burn him alive. What happened? There was fire and Prahlad entered the fire. But what happened? What was the outcome? He was not touched by fire. The fire could not burn him. How it happened? Because Krishna withdrew the tejas from the fire. It is as if the body is there, but there is no Atma. So what is the potency of the body? It is dead. It is dead. There is no potency. So that splendor or that tejas which is there in the Surya, Shashi and Agnav, Krishna says, it is me. So at the cosmological level, at the universal level, we can see how Krishna is maintaining and sustaining through the agency of sun, moon and fire. Because if the sun, moon and fire is not there, nothing works. The day does not even begin. Like we have winter's day. Now these days winter is there. But for 1 day or 2 days the sun does not come out. All the activities become almost dormant. So Prabhupada says in the purport, the unintelligent cannot understand how things are taking place. But one can begin to be established in knowledge by understanding what the Lord explains. So how we can become established in knowledge? By accepting and understanding, by understanding and accepting what the Lord explains. Simple. We accept that, we don't refute that or we don't challenge that. Everyone sees the sun, moon, fire, and electricity. One should simply try to understand that the splendor of the sun, the splendor of the moon, and the splendor of electricity or fire is coming from the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Krishna has spoken in the 7th chapter also. Prabhasmi Sashi Shuryayo Tejas Chasmi Vibhavaso. In such a conception of life, the beginning of Krishna consciousness. So what is the beginning of Krishna consciousness? Is to accept the statements of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Very simple. Very easy. Who is in Krishna consciousness? Who accepts wholeheartedly what Krishna explains. Lies a great deal of advancement for the conditioned soul in this material world. The living entities are essentially the parts and parcel of the Supreme Lord, and he is giving here with the hint how they can come to back to Godhead, back to whom? How? By simply being Krishna conscious. So whenever we see the sun, whenever we see the moon, whenever we see the fire, so what we should see? Should we see the sun, moon, and fire? One who is trained in knowledge, he should see how Krishna is making things happen through sun, moon, and fire. That is what Krishna consciousness is. Vasudevam sarvamiti sa mahatma sudurlabha. So in this way one can become Krishna conscious. From this verse we can understand that the sun is illuminating the whole solar system. There are different universes and solar systems. And there are different sun, moons, and planets also. But in each universe, there is only one sun. So be very clear that in every universe, there is not more than one sun. There is only one sun. As stated in Bhagavad Gītā 10:21, the moon is also one of the stars. Nakshatranam aham shashi. Sunlight is due to the spiritual effulgence in the spiritual sky of the Supreme Lord. What is it? What is the spiritual effulgence in the spiritual sky of the Supreme Lord? We discussed that in the last chapter. Everybody attended, almost those who were present here. What is the spiritual effulgence in the spiritual sky? Everyone should know.
It is the effulgence coming from the body of Supreme Lord.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Brahmano hi pratishtaham amritasya avyavasya. This was the last verse which we discussed from the 14th chapter. Sunlight is due to the spiritual effulgence in the spiritual sky of the Supreme Lord. With the rise of the sun, the activities of human beings are set up. It's very important. If the sun does not rise, the activities do not start. Why? Because the sun provides the inertia, the energy. If the sun does not come out, things remain dead. They set fire to prepare their foodstuffs. With the rise of the sun, the activities of human beings are set up. And they set fire to prepare their foodstuffs. So without Agni, if the Tejas, the Vibhava, the Prabhava is not there in the Agni. What is the Prabhava in the Agni? Is the heat. So the human beings then they cannot cook because they set fire to prepare their foodstuffs. They set fire to start the factories. Fire or electricity is the same thing. So many things are done with the help of fire. So without the sun and without the fire, everything will become standstill. Therefore, sunrise, fire, and moonlight, without their help, no living. Understand what the light and the splendor of the sun, moon, then once Krishna consciousness will be, it will perfect. What it will do? It can begin. In one of the verses, Brahmaji come the Supreme Grahana. You see the 4th chapter, first verse. Brahma Samhita verse is quoted, page number 192. Sambrata Kala Chakro Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. Of course, he has the realization. That is why he is the secondary creator. He receives all intelligence and all resources from the Supreme Lord. And he realizes the resources given by the Supreme Lord to have this wonderful material creation. And what is his realization? That the sun is like the, it says there, the sun orbit in obedience to his order. And the sun is also called the king of all planets. A living entity can live. So if one can understand with the light and splendor of the sun, moon, and fire and emanating from the Supreme Personality of Godhead, then once Krishna consciousness will begin. This is also a very important aspect. Krishna will speak about it later also. Bhutva Rasatmaka. So the sun, light and energy, what is the it is photosynthesis. What is it called? The sun, the plants grow. What is it called? Manish?
Yes, Prabhuji, it's photosynthesis, right?
Are you able to hear or not?
Yes, Prabhuji, some break is there, but it is, we can hear, Prabhuji. It is photosynthesis, Prabhuji, yes.
Photosynthesis. We were taught in lower classes. Photosynthesis. No question of any growth. There is no juice. Birds will not blossom. So by the moonshine, all the vegetables are nourished. The moonshine is so pleasing that people can easily understand that they are living by the mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. So at the universal level, with the sun, the moon, the electricity, what we can see, how Krishna is maintaining everyone. How he is the factor behind everyone's existence. So without his mercy, there cannot be sun. Without his mercy, there cannot be moon. And without his mercy, there cannot be fire. And without the help of sun, moon, and fire, no one can live. These are some thoughts. Prabhupada says these are some thoughts to provoke Krishna consciousness in the conditioned soul. Okay.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes, no.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Can you hear, or the connection is not stable?
Prabhuji, your voice is cracking a bit, but yes.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, yes, Prabhuji. Yes, Prabhuji, we can see.
Is the audio working?
Prabhuji, it's breaking actually, but sometimes it is coming, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. I think now it will be okay, Prabhuji.
Okay, you read then. Can you see the screen?
Yes, Prabhuji. Yes, I will read, Prabhuji.
Okay.
This is not a very new theory. Everyone knows that because the roots of trees store the sun's energy, it is possible to get fire from a tree. These scientists...
Wait. Very unique. The roots of tree store the sun's energy. I don't know. Is it taught to you? Does the scientific community accept this?
I was not aware about, Prabhuji.
Okay, go ahead.
It is possible to get fire from a tree. These scientists are tiny creatures, but they are very proud. We do not give them credit because they are simply stating what everyone knows. As soon as you cut a tree, you cannot get fire from it. It has to be dried in the sun. When the energy is gathered from the sun, the tree can be utilized for fire. Actually, everything is being maintained by the sun's energy, but the scientists do not know where the sun's energy comes from.
Very unique.
The splendor of the sun, which dissipates the darkness of this whole world, comes from me, and the splendor of the moon and the splendor of the fire are also from me. Again, Krishna says, Jyotisam Ravir Amsuman. Of lights, I am the radiant sun. Also, in the 11th chapter of the Bhagavad Gītā, Arjuna tells Krishna, Swasi Surya Netram. The sun and moon are among your great unlimited eyes. This knowledge is contained in the Bhagavad Gītā, but scientists cannot attain this knowledge by their speculation. Can they? it is not possible.
So how Krishna is sustaining? First he said how he is maintaining through the sun, moon and fire. But how he is sustaining? That was at the cosmological level, at the universal level. But even at the terrestrial level, at each planet, we see that Mahavishnu, when he glances that so many numerous universes, they manifest. And in each of the universe, he expands as Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, he enters. And what he does? He sustains them or maintains them. How? Gamavishya cha bhutani dharyami ahamojasa pushnami chaushadhi sarva suma bhutva rasatmaka. So into each planet, Gam means the planet and Avishya means to enter. So Krishna says, by my energy, I enter into each planet. And because Krishna has entered into each planet, they float or they stay or sustain in their orbit. Many times Prabhupada used to challenge. Prabhupada used to make fun of all this so-called scientists. When they used to say that we are making such heavy machine float in air. Prabhupada said it is foolish. It is like making a cotton swab. You understand what is a cotton swab, no? Rui ka ek gola uda rahe. See the power of Krishna. He is making such planets like Earth and the universes float in this space. So how they are floating? How do they remain in their orbit? And why do they not fall? What would be the mass or weight of each planet? Unestimable. So how it is happening? It is not happening on its own or by chance. So Krishna says, Gamavishya cha bhutani dharyami aham ojasa, that I hold or I sustain. It is because of me, my energy, they stay in orbit. And he says, Pushnami chaushadhi sarvaha, that I am the one who nourishes. What? Aushadhi. Aushadhi means here the eatables. Sarva, all. And from me, because of my moonshine, I supply somo, som juice. That very ambrosial nectar, for which all the living entities, they want to go where? To the heavenly planets, to be able to enjoy this som juice, or the juice, or the rasa which is there in all the vegetation and plantation. Krishna says, it is because of me. Thereby, supply the juice of life to all vegetables. So because if there is more moonshine, the vegetables will become completely dry. They will not have any juice in them. So at the planetary level, at the terrestrial level, how Krishna is maintaining? First he is Dharyami Ahamojasa. He enters into each planet and he sustains them. He holds them by his energies. And then he nourishes through the juice which is coming from the moon. Somo bhutva rasatmakaha. He supplies the juice of life to all the vegetables through the moonshine. It is understood that all the planets are floating in the air only by the energy of the Lord. How? Such the planets are moving. One devotee was giving very nice example. How our bodies are moving. Kana? Our body also has a lot of weight, na? It is only because of the presence of the spiritual spark soul. Till the time the soul exists in the body is moving, it is floating, it is dancing, it is jumping, it is performing all kind of action and activities. But when the soul leaves the body, what happens to the body? 4 people have to carry the body. Even 4 people find it difficult to carry the body. And the same body which was happily moving alone, jumping, walking, running, but that body has become so heavy or so difficult, even 4 people cannot lift. So it is because of the presence of the soul. And when the super soul enters the planet, what it does? He makes the planets float in their orbit or rotate in their orbit. So it is understood that all the planets are floating in the air only by the energy of the Lord. The Lord enters into every atom, every planet, and every living being at all levels. At the universal level, at the terrestrial level, and also at the individual level. This is discussed in the Brahma Samhita. It is said that there is one plenary portion of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Paramatma, enters into planets, the universes, the living entities, even into the atoms. So due to his entrance, everything is appropriately manifested. When the spirit soul is there, a living man can float on the water, isn't it? People do swimming. So what they are doing? They are floating on water. Why? Because of the presence of spirit soul. But when this living spark is out of the body is dead and the body sinks. Of course, when it is decomposed, it floats. Prabhupada is making our mind become peaceful. Because immediately the mind is working, how Prabhupada is saying? We have seen so many dead bodies floating. So what logic is he giving? That the soul is there, the body is floating, and when the soul is not there, it is thinking. So how the dead body is floating? So Prabhupada is explaining, so that we don't over emphasize and give credit to our mind. So Prabhupada is saying when the body becomes decomposed, it floats just like a straw and other things. But as soon as the man is dead, at once he sinks in the water. Similarly, all these planets are floating in space. And this is due to the entrance of the supreme energy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Gam avishya cha bhutani. Gam means the planet and avishya means to enter. So he enters not into every planet, he enters into every person. Cha bhutani. And he says dharyami. Dharyami means to hold. How he holds? As someone has held something in his hand. So same way Krishna holds everyone and everything and every planet. And he provides the nourishment. Suma bhutva rasatmakam. He supplies the juice for the vegetables. So how he holds, the example is given, Prabhupada says, his energy is sustaining each planet. It is not that he is holding and he is burdened. It is only by his will that his energies are holding. His energy is sustaining each planet just like a handful of dust. Handful of dust. Very extraordinary example. If someone holds a handful of dust, there is no possibility of the dust falling. But if one throws it in the air, it will fall down. Similarly, these planets which are floating in the air are actually held in the first at the universal form of the Supreme Lord. By his strength and energy, all moving and non-moving things stay in their place. So it is only because of the entrance of the Supreme Personality of Godhead that everything is into harmony. Everything is aligned perfectly. It is said in the Vedic hymns that because of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the sun is shining and the planets are steadily moving. That is a very beautiful verse. Mad Bhayat Surya Mad Bhayat. Just search. Okay, let me search. Just see when you can find it is from Srimad Bhagavatam.
Prabhuji, can you repeat?
Surya is the sun, and Surya moves because of the fear of the Supreme Lord. Mad Bhayat. Uh, 325:42. This goes by Lord Kapil Dev. Mad Bhayat Vati Vata Ayam Suryo Tapati Mad Bhayat. No. 325:42. This is very beautiful verse. The one that you have opened. Some other day we will discuss. 325:42. Yeah, this one. Open. So Krishna is saying, in the form of Kapil Dev to Mother Devahoti, that Mad Bhayat Vati Vato Yam Suryastapati Mad Bhayat Vasati Indro Dahati Agnir Mrityu Charati Mad Bhayat. So here for us it is Suryastapati Mad Bhayat. The sun shines out of fear of me, and the Lord of the clouds Indra sends forth showers out of fear of me. Fire burns out of fear of me, and death goes about taking its toll out of fear of me. It is because of my supremacy that the wind blows. So here it is said in the Vedic hymns that because of Supreme Personality of Godhead, the sun is shining and the planets are steadily moving. Okay, you can minimize it. You can stop it. So we need to have some bhaya. Jiva also must have bhaya of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Then only he will follow. Otherwise, he'll refuse to follow. Even the sun, moon, and the wind is following. Even Indra is following. So what is our position? Not to follow. So by his strength, energy, all moving and non-living things stay in their place. It is said in the Vedic hymns that because of Supreme Personality of Godhead, the sun is shining and the planets are steadily moving. Were it not for him, all the planets would scatter like dust in the air. A very beautiful example Prabhupada is giving. Like someone is holding the dust in his palm. similarly is due to the personality of Godhead that nourishes all vegetables. You can check, I don't know whether you have been taught or not, that all the nourishment which comes in the cultivation, whether it is a tree or whether it is a creeper, all of it is only because of the moonshine. If there is no moonshine for 2 or 3 days, the crop will become completely useless. It has happened. It has happened many times. Without the moonshine, the vegetables can neither grow nor taste succulent. Human society is working, living comfortably, and enjoying food due to the supply from the Supreme Lord. Otherwise, mankind could not survive. The word rasa and how Krishna maintains and sustains everyone. So we have seen first at the cosmological level, at the universal level, at the global level. So the and at the terrestrial level, the planet level, of which we are the Earth planet. So how he enters into each planet and makes them float in their orbit. Okay. Terrestrial level, also at the individual level. Okay. So thank you very much. Is there any question or any confirmation or clarification you want? I can discuss. So if one can become first hand in his existence. Hare Krishna. I do not see any response coming. Hare Krishna, audio.
Yes,
Are you able to hear?
Yes, Prabhuji. Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay. No questions? Nothing to discuss? But we should be able to appreciate how Krishna is maintaining at all levels. Without the mercy of Krishna, without Krishna's hand, what do we have? What kind of existence we will have? Simply not possible. Without the sun, moon, and fire and electricity, what can we do? Okay, so I'll stop here. I don't want to stretch. श्रीमद् भगवद गीता यथारूप की जय, श्री प्रभुपाद की जय, श्री पुष्य अभिषेक महोत्सव की जय। निताय गौर प्रेमानंदी हरि हरि बोल।